If I traded it all, if I gave it all away for one thing.
Welcome back. My next guests have been on with me before. I have Ryan Cummings and Robert Gruler. They are with R&R Law Group. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, Carol, good to be back here.
So I want to talk to you because before we came on, you had said that you're here because there's a lot going on in Phoenix right now. And that means, and we all know what's going on, there's a lot of drinking going on and a lot of partying going on right now. So let's talk a little bit about what you do and how you can help people.
Well, that's right, Carol. So this weekend we have both the Phoenix Open, the Waste Management Open, and we have the Super Bowl taking place on Sunday. There was an article released today that approximately 197,000 people are estimated to be going through the Phoenix Open. And when that happens, you're right. A lot of people are having a good time. They're out there drinking. They're with their friends. They're enjoying the great weather. And the police are out in full force. So what we do is we protect individuals when they have been charged with a crime. We handle all types of cases, anywhere from simple civil traffic violations all the way up to major felonies. But this particular weekend, the police are going to be out in full force enforcing DUIs.
I've seen them already. I saw them last night. I thought, what the heck is going on? I didn't even realize it. Go ahead.
Right. So it's one of those things where when they have a lot of people coming through a certain place, that they really increase that enforcement. And particularly there in Scottsdale, you're going to see a large increase. You know, the waste management opening happening, on that northwest corner. Scottsdale's really going to be out looking for any reason to pull you over and looking for those DUIs.
Right. Here's the thing, guy. I saw an accident last night that was just horrendous. And, I mean, it doesn't have to be just now, but we have, I don't know what it is about Phoenix. It's either the drivers or whatever. But we also have laws here that are stricter probably than anywhere else, right, in the country.
Right, that's true. So for DUIs, there's mandatory jail, there's mandatory fines, there's a mandatory interlock device. And let me just explain, we're not encouraging people to try to evade the police or try to get out there and drink and drive and, cause a hazard to other people on the roadway. But one of the problems is that when the police have these sort of hyper-enforcement mechanisms out there, when they've got these task force stopping everybody for any reason that you can think of, a lot of innocent people get caught up in the process. And so those people will then call our office and say, look, I was not drinking, I was not driving, but I got written up for all these speeding tickets because they were stopped, and the police, they have to write something when there's a traffic stop. And so that's when they come to our office, and we protect their record, protect their driver's license, and help them get out of that situation.
Now, you're located in Scottsdale. You're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. You can help anyone, from anywhere. But what we want to do, I also want to open up the lines to anyone who might have a question, if that's okay with you. Maybe you've been popped. Maybe someone you know has had this happen. It doesn't have to be DUI at all. It could be definitely a traffic type of a ticket, too. We'll talk about those. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Now, I want to give out your website and your information, too. Their website is ArizonaTrafficLawyer.com. You also can call them direct. Write this number down. In my opinion, this is the perfect phone number to put in your phone right now, because you can never know when someone gets in trouble, and it could be anyone. You know somebody, it can happen to anybody. 480-400-1355. It's easy to put in. Put it in right now. Okay, so you've seen a lot of cases left over from the holiday season, too.
That's right. So the Thanksgiving and Christmas holiday season, a lot of people, and New Year's as well, a lot of people got in trouble. They were charged with DUIs. They were charged with some domestic violence offenses. And we are now, now their court dates are coming up, so they're contacting our office and saying, hey, we need some help here. We've never been through the judicial system before. We're looking for some guidance. How can we get out of this situation?
Go ahead.
And most of our clients are very good people. They're you and me, they're our brothers, they're our friends and families, and they have just made one simple mistake or gotten caught up in a bad situation. And so, we try to go through the process and ensure that they're treated with some humanity, make sure that they're getting the attention that they deserve, and they're not just being pushed through the system and having the state, the police, the prosecutor's office, and everybody pile on them. And at our office, we sit down with our clients, we give them a full and thorough case evaluation, and we really develop a plan that's going to be able to get them through this process.
Do you believe that the police, and I might be listening, some of them might be listening right now, but I'm going to say it anyway, they're almost out there they're looking for them. It's a money-making thing. So,
Well, right. They definitely make money off of DUIs. What they're looking for, and sometimes, as defense attorneys, we may joke, some of the same words are in every single police report. The bloodshot, watery eyes, the odor of alcohol emitting, certain trigger points that they use in order to enforce those DUI stops. And those are things that they're out looking for. And again, it's something that you can just get caught up in the process, and that in and of itself can be horrific enough, just going through the process that having an attorney helps you with, and just making sure that everything's done right, and just making sure that you know what's going on.
Here's my opinion. I know that you're wearing orange, but if you like wearing orange, you better be careful out there, because if you're drinking, this is what's going to happen here. It's a no-tolerance state. And by the way, this is a great time to say this, too. And I know this, not because it happened to me, because I've talked to other people before about this. If you are driving and you're happy, you're having a party, you went to a Super Bowl party, and now you're going home and you've got your kids in the car, and your kids, and I'm saying this for a purpose for people to hear this, is that if they are a certain age, what can happen to them? Go ahead. So
if they're under 15, that becomes an aggravated DUI, which is a felony. And that's, it's not something that people think, oh, well, I'm going to go out and get drunk and, I've got my kids in the car. But it's something where if you go to a party, maybe you had, a glass of wine or two or a beer or two, and you just left. You've got your kids in the car. You get pulled over.
Very
innocent.
Now
have a DUI. And now, you're looking at a felony. And, if that can have just devastating effects on anybody. And just one other thing to point out, though, at least in Maricopa County, it's not orange you'll be wearing, it's pink.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. They changed it. So here's the other thing is, too, that's also I want to get out. It's very important because a lot of people, the first thing that they do is they start to talk. And why they need somebody that is really good, someone like you've been doing this a long time, is that you're there to help them reduce, and you know how to do that, to find things where they can reduce the sentence, because, you don't want to have to go to jail if you don't have to, right?
Absolutely. And every police report, it always lists out the bad facts, and it always makes the facts look really bad. So that's something that we're trained to do, to go through the police reports with our clients, look at things, figure out what can we look at to start reducing, the outcome.
Right. And, there's so many people out there, and I've had them even call me, say, hey, Carol, I don't know, I had something happen to me, and you don't have to be young to have this happen. Okay, I even know somebody in our family who's a friend who literally just, is 80 years old, went to lunch, had a drink, and boom, she was popped. And thousands of dollars for an 80-year-old, which says sad.
Right.
And Absolutely. If they want to do it, they're going to do it. And that's what it's all really about. You can call them, their number, put it in your phone right now. It's just in case. It's peace of mind that you know that it's there. 480-400-1355. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Their website is ArizonaTrafficLawyer.com. What are some of the things you want to say before we go to a break?
Well, obviously, people are going to be out and having a great time this weekend. We encourage them to do that. Everybody stay safe out there. There are many options that you can utilize so that you never need to call our office. You can use Uber, you can use Lyft, get a designated driver, get a taxi cab. But if, for whatever reason, you do need our help, we're going to be here. We offer free case evaluations. We'll sit down with you, and we'll figure out what we need to do to really put this whole situation behind you.
Now, our lines are open here. We're going to let everyone call in. If you decide you've got something you just want to ask a question on, it does not have to be necessarily DUI. It could be just traffic-oriented. Don't forget, guys, there's people out there that are taking prescriptions. There's people out there that are smoking because they can now, and they have cards to do it. There's a lot of ways that you can get yourself in trouble and not even realize it. Go ahead before we go.
Right. Prescription drugs, anytime that any sort of foreign substance is in your body, the police are going to be going after you if they sense that they can obtain a DUI from that traffic stop. So it is important that you sit down, you speak with a team, and you get the representation that you deserve.
Can you really tell us where those hot spots are right now real quickly?
Absolutely. So Scottsdale...
Listen up!
Scottsdale Police has 4 different districts where the police essentially congregate. This is where they all report back to. District 1, you're going to find South Scottsdale. That's Miller and McKellips. District 2, 75th Street and Drinkwater. District 3, 90th Street and Via Linda. District 4, Pima Road and Thompson Peak. That's the northernmost district where they're going to be congregating this weekend around the Waste Management Open.
Wow, it is going to be crazy out there this weekend. Be careful. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk further about some of the things that you can do for them. Again, also traffic related. Don't forget that it's not just DUI here, but we want you to be able to call in if you have a questions, get some free advice right here on Networking Arizona. But please put this number in your phone. It is 480-400-1355. That website is Arizona, all spelled out, trafficlawyer.com. Be careful. We're going to be right back. We're going to come back and talk further about this. Hold on tight, guys.
If I traded it all.
So it's a crazy weekend out there right now, and we all know that, and we also know that everybody's going to get crazy and have some fun, but it's okay to do as long as you're safe about it. But also, anything can happen. Good things happen to bad people. No, it's the other way around. Bad things happen to good people. I wrote it down and I said it wrong. So it's bad things happen to good people. It can happen to anybody. I know that we have our lines open here for people to call in. If you want to ask a question, you're going to get some advice right here. Again, it can be anything from DUI to just a traffic ticket if you've had it. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Ryan Cummings, Robert Gruler, and they're with R&R Law Group. They are A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out at ArizonaTrafficLawyer.com. And their phone number, please put it in your phone. It is 480-400-1355. Okay, so we got through a lot of the fun stuff that I like to talk about, but then there's some other really important things, right? So, everyone's questions. Do they really need an attorney?
Right. It's a very common question that we get all the time. What can you do for me? Is there anything that actually can be done about this? Yes, I did have a drink or two. I did get behind a car, so boom, I must automatically be guilty, right? Well, the answer to that question is no. I mean, DUIs and any traffic offense can be quite complicated, to be honest with everybody. What we do is we get involved and we break the case down. The police have to follow a step-by-step procedure, and they need to do things by their own policies. They need to follow the rules. If they don't do that, well, then you have rights as a citizen. You're just not automatically guilty because somebody pulls you aside. We have due process. We have a system of justice, and there's a whole wider range of things that a seasoned attorney can do to help your case. The question is it an investment that you want to make? Do you want to sit down, talk about it? Because when all is said and done, a DUI can be a very harsh conviction that you're going to be living with for 7 years, if not longer.
Well, and I'm just going to say this. We had somebody here in the station. We don't even know who they were. They were just here. They were listening. And they had somebody. Everybody knows somebody who has something happen. And that person actually had something very traumatic literally happen to them. And it was a simple pullover for something, and they had a drink, right?
Right. And we're not talking about necessarily people who are falling down in a drunken stupor. I mean, you can very, very quickly get over the legal limit. One drink, one or two drinks, depending on your body weight, your size, your tolerance level, that can put you over the legal limit for a very brief period of time, and then suddenly you feel very capable of driving and you feel very safe on the roadway, but you get stopped for a wide right turn or for following too closely or for some traffic stop that it may or may not actually be legitimate, and then the next thing you're getting arrested, handcuffed, thrown in a police car, and having your blood drawn.
What are some of the penalties that happen to the individual?
Well, for a first-time example, regular DUI, there's mandatory jail. So you've got 10 days of jail. You can get a certain number of those days suspended, depending upon your BAC level and things like that. But it's important to note that if you are convicted of a DUI in Arizona, you will likely be going to jail. The law says that has to happen. In addition to that, though, there are mandatory fines and fees. There's a public safety fund fee. There's a prison construction fund fee. There are surcharges. There are taxes and all sorts of penalties. The government loves to collect their money off of your DUI. And then for 6 months, if not longer, you've got an intoxilizer device installed in your car every time you sit down and travel to the grocery store. you've got to blow into a breathalyzer device. So those are just a few of the consequences, not to, to mention the collateral consequences. What happens with your job? What happens with your career? And, those consequences can be devastating.
Huge.
License suspensions.
Right. Licenses can be suspended for 90 days, if not longer, sometimes 1 year, meaning you're not driving at all.
Right, and more than anything, if you've got a felony and you can get a felony, they can turn into felonies without if you don't have a good attorney too. And the next thing you know is you really can't even get a job, a good, decent job, and it becomes very difficult. How do you defend those kinds of things?
Well, really, a lot goes into it, and it depends what type of DUI you're looking at. Again, one of the first things we do is we sit down, we talk with the clients, figure everything out, and break down their case. If they're charged with a felony, those aggravated DUIs break into 4 different categories. The ones with the kids in the car we spoke about. There's also if your license was suspended at the time, if you have multiple prior DUIs, or if you were supposed to have an ignition interlock device in your car at the time you got pulled over for another DUI. These are all aggravated DUIs, which are felonies. Some of those felonies, they carry, if you go to trial and lose, you're looking at a 4-month minimum prison sentence. So now we're not talking about jail, we're talking about prison. So it's really important to go through all of these statutes and make sure that not only the police did the right job, but that the state can prove those elements of each of those statutes. So that's what we do with our clients. Is we sit down, we go over the cases with them. It's a very involved process, and many of these clients, they just haven't been through the process before, and sometimes that's the scariest thing for anybody is, I don't know what's happening.
Right, and I think, do you do free consultations with everyone?
Absolutely.
You have to.
Offer free case evaluations for anybody that calls our office.
Okay, and again, let me get this number down for you, and again, I believe that everybody should put it in your phone. It is 480-400-1355, and they do free case evaluations for everyone. They're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. They can help anyone from anywhere. Their website is Arizona, all spelled out, trafficlawyer.com. And if you want to, you can call in. I know it's an embarrassing situation, but you know what? No one's going to know who you are. But instead, this is informational for you guys out there. It's for you to know what to do just in case, really. So they're out there right now, and they're been pulled over. Do they get out of the car?
Well, you're going to want to follow the lawful commands of a police officer, but it generally starts off with some questions. Have you been drinking? How much have you had to drink? Where are you going to? Where are you coming from? And the important thing at that point is to truthfully call a lawyer. You gave out our phone number, 480-400-1355. We say that it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So that if you're stopped, you can call us right away. We'll get on the phone, we'll put the phone on speaker, and then the police officer will now be cognizant of the fact that an attorney is listening in to make sure that they're not doing anything that violates your rights.
Great idea.
Right? And then they call, and we're there. So now the officer has to very specifically follow the rules. He can't bend the truth. He can't coerce you into making statements that you didn't need to make. If you're not in a position to make a phone call, you do have to follow the lawful commands, but you do not have to answer those specific questions. So how much have you had to drink? Officer, I've been advised not to answer that question. And then the officer can proceed forward. If you do end up getting arrested, you don't have to do an interview. Prior to the arrest, when they ask you to step out of the car and do the field sobriety test, do the walk and turn, do the one-leg stand, follow the pen with your eyes, you don't have to do any of those tests under Arizona law.
Now, are there any stigmas with defending criminals?
Well, I don't really think that we look at it as necessarily as defending criminals. Like Rob mentioned earlier, a lot of what we do is we help good people that are put in a bad situation. So what that is that we're explaining the process. We're getting them through the court system and really just helping them out. It's a lot of our clients, they'd be the first ones to say, look, hey, I screwed up. I broke the law. I'm guilty. I need to just take care of this. Right? But again, that's not what you want to do. You have constitutional protections that are in place, and you want to make sure that everything that was done right. And if so, then we walk you through the process, get everything done, and make sure that you know what's going on every step of the way.
Right. Because I think that's the most important part of the whole thing, especially if there's parents out there that are listening to their child that might have had that happen to them, and now they're a wreck, and they don't know, and they think the worst, you know? And so this way you educate them as well. You do free case evaluations for everyone. What are your final words for today?
Well, we just want to encourage everybody again to stay safe out there this weekend. There's a lot of activities going on. There's a lot of enforcement that's going to be cracking down on people who are drinking and driving. Now, again, we encourage you to stay safe, use an Uber, use a Lyft, but if you do get in a situation where you need to speak with an attorney, call our office right away. We'll be there to help. Our number is 480-400-1355. As Carol mentioned, we offer free case evaluations for everybody. We want to make sure that one simple mistake does not destroy the rest of your life and that you're not labeled a criminal for just one moment in time.
It can happen to anyone. Be safe out there, but have fun. But be careful. Put this number in your phone right now. It is 480-400-1355. It's better to have it than to not have it. Check them out at ArizonaTrafficLawyer.com.